Well, hello everyone, and welcome to part 2 of my Sansevieria endeavor. This is Linda's Houseplants for you, and I appreciate you all coming back. As you can see, there's many different size pots on this table, along with all of my plants from the side table from my living room. That was in my last video. This is what I have left of my terracotta pot, so I'm hoping I have enough here to accomplish what I'm trying to do, and I hope that I have the right sizes. I'm going to probably match up the pot with the plant off camera, and then once I know which plant is going where, then I will be back and I will start recording the transplanting project here. And I don't think it'll be too bad. Cactus and Sansevieria I find very easy and pretty quick. There's not much to them, so it's not like when you're trying to transplant a long trailing plant or something that's extremely sensitive. So I'm going to go mix up some soil mixture, and hopefully I have enough of what I need for that, and then I'm going to get started. So I'll be back. Alrighty, I'm going to start with my Blue Moon Sansevieria today, and that's this one. For those of you who don't know, she's beautiful. I absolutely love this plant. Now, normally I would have put her in a much bigger pot than what she's in, because I'm pretty sure she's root bound. But because this pot is just a little bit bigger, and because I'm taking cuttings from this for my girls, I won't need as big a pot as I originally planned. So we're gonna go with this one, and before we do, I'm gonna use this, I think, to loosen up the soil. And I'm going to just do that with my scissors today. Normally I use a butter knife, but honestly I'm too lazy to get back up to get it. I've had a really very busy day today, and for me that is an answer to prayer, so I'm not complaining. It feels so good to be able to get things accomplished, and those of you that have been remembering me in your prayers, I want to thank you for that, because I do believe they're working. And it's, I believe, my 3rd day in a row now, which is extremely unusual. Generally I have a really good day followed by 3 or 4 bad, so for me to have 3 really good days in a row is really nothing short of a miracle, and I am so grateful for this time. Alright, so as you can see, there's 2 separate plants in here, and then we have these coming up. So I'm going to see what the best way is to divide this up. Again, I've got my daughter and granddaughter both would like a piece of this, so I'm going to see what we can do here with this. And I got my trusty bowl for the old soil, because you know I don't like to reuse the soil unless it's fairly new and I put it in. So let's see what we can do here. I'm going to try to do this without making a huge mess, but that's kind of hard with these bigger plants. I usually manage to get it all over the floor, which is not the worst thing in the world. That's what they make brooms for. But okay, I'm going to set this aside for now. And let's see what we got here. Alright, it looks like we've got 3. Oh yeah, I definitely do not need to have any bigger pot than the one I chose. So, once again, I'm going to cut down between the 2 of these. And remember, we don't want to go on an angle, we don't want to go like this. If you do this on an angle, you're cutting roots away. I try to get down as straight as I can. And I'm doing it kind of by feel too, because you can feel as you're cutting, you should be able to tell if it's roots that you're cutting through or if it's the stem of the plant, and that we don't want to do. So there, that's all I did. Very little pressure in between the 2, and if I did it correctly, I should have 2 plants with 2 chunks of root in my hand shortly. They're still kind of intertwined, but here again, now I could take a scissors and cut that right there. Okay, but I don't like to do that because those roots are there for a reason, and the less I have to disturb them, the better. So I'm gently working it back and forth. See how those roots are coming apart there? That is a perfect cut. I'm very, very excited about that. Now, what I'm not too excited about is I want to try to divide these for my girls and keep the big ones for myself, because I've waited a long time for those, and I never see these in my area, so I think one of the girls is going to get the big piece and the other one's going to get the 2 smaller pieces. I think that's a fair way to do it. And as this plant grows and I get more babies, I'll be very happy to share them with them. I just don't want to disrupt my 2 big pieces here, and I know that they wouldn't want me to do that anyway. So, all right. Now you can see how this is coming out the side. It's going to be a little more difficult for me to cut that away because it's really attached to the mother plant. But I'm going to do the best I can and hope that I still have some roots on here when I'm done. I wasn't quite expecting that. I was really hoping that this would be a separate plant, but it's really part of the main root. So I'm not sure how I'm even going to get that off of there, and I don't know if you can see, but right here, this plant, this piece is what I'm trying to get off of this plant, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. It's really coming out of the main stalk of this piece. And there's a big, hard, what I believe is the original part of this plant right here. And I don't want to cut that off because I'm afraid it's going to affect this. So I'm just going to work with this a little bit and concentrate on what I'm doing and see what I can what I can do, what I can come up with. This is not as easy as I thought it was going to be, unfortunately. Just wiggling it a little bit to see if it would come loose from the mother plant. It feels like it might. I don't think so though. I think it's pretty well connected. So, what do I do now? Let me see what I can do with the other one. If there's a way, I got more babies coming up the middle of this one. I wish I could split this down the middle, but I don't think I can. I mean, it's probably possible, but I have never done it. So I'm a little bit leery about doing that. I don't know. I'm not sure what to do here. Because then I would just split this big one and I would just keep this hunk. But I don't think that's even possible without ruining this plant. And it's far too beautiful to do that. So let's... Now, the first thing I want to do is get the... I'm going to put a little paper towel down in the bottom of this pot. And again, I always start with a clean pot. And you can see the hole is pretty good size. So I'm going to lay this down in there. And that will just help keep the soil from, until it compacts down a little bit. It'll keep the soil from coming out. Alright, and I'm going to stick this in here. Well, I think I'm just going to have to... Oh, boy. The problem is I don't know how much of this stem here is supporting this big plant. My common sense tells me it's the bulk of this. Otherwise, I would just cut it right here. But I don't know if I should do that. I don't think so. My brain is telling me don't do that, so... But I don't see any other way to get these off of there without that. You know what? I'm just going to go for it. What's the worst that can happen? I mean, really. And go straight down. Just heard something come loose. Uh-oh. That's what I was afraid of. Now, let's see what happens. Okay. I have a few roots on here. I think that'll be enough. I mean, it's the Sansevieria, so I have planted Sansevierias with a lot less rooting than that. So I think this is going to be okay. But we may have to separate the two of those too. Now this one I'm not too sure of. I'm going to continue to cut until that comes loose. Yeah. Not going to have any roots on that one, I don't think. No. And I'm not surprised at that. But what I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to make a fresh cut on here. I'm going to put that in a little pot and root it up, let it callus over, and then root it up. And because we have two pieces here that both have roots on them, I'm going to try to separate these about midway here. Okay, this has got roots on it. This has roots here, and there's a tiny little baby shoot coming out of there. Not sure if you can see it. It's very tiny. And then we've got these roots here. So I think I'm going to cut this right here. There. Alright, now we've got roots on both of these pieces, and we have one that doesn't have roots at all. So I'm going to let this callus over, and maybe I'll just make a third plant out of this one. I have another granddaughter who's just turning 9 this month, and maybe she would like that. So I think that's what I'll do. We're going to, each girl's going to get one of these, and that'll work. We'll put them in some small pots. And this wonderful piece here is still very much intact. I'm going to put this back in this pot with some soil. Before I do that, I want to wash it off. And I want to do that underwater instead of just wiping the leaves while I have it out of the pot. So I'm going to take a little break here, and I'm going to go get that done, and I'll be right back. Alrighty. Now we've got nice clean leaves for the most part. It feels good to give them a bath. I do try to wash them, wipe them down, but it's not the same as actually running them under the water. So I'm excited. Okay, gonna put some dirt. I have my dirt in a different spot today just because I needed the table space. So you're not gonna see me filling this, but alright. I'm going to try and get a good symmetry going on here. I think that looks pretty good right there. Might be a little bit low. I might have to raise it up just a little, but now the mixture that I'm using is my normal soil mix with a few things added. I've got some river river rock in here because I didn't have enough sand. And I want to make sure that I got a real loose mixture. I'm just pulling this up a little bit because it's a little bit low in the pot. I don't want to get it too high, but I don't want it to be too low either. I think this will be good. Okay. You never want to go too high when you're repotting because, ooh, we don't want that soil in the leaves. If you get it up too high, that'll rot. It'll rot your leaves, and that would not be good. Now I'm thinking I'm going to have to wet the soil down in order for this to hold where I'm putting it. I'm going to put a little bit of sand on the top of here just because it helps to keep the soil from compacting. Sometimes my mixtures will get like a surface crust on them, and I haven't quite figured out what that's from, why it does that, but I do know that the sand helps to keep that from happening. So when I'm dealing, and it's usually with cacti and succulents, things that I don't water often. I don't know if it just gets too dried out and then it forms like I said, a little bit of a crust, and we don't want that to happen because then the next step is it forms little reservoirs. So when you water, if the top of this layer is all hard, wherever it's loose, it'll form like a little river inside of the soil, and then your whole plant might not get watered. And that's what I found to be the case anyway. Alright, I think we can, whoops, nope, this has to go up more. Oh my goodness. I'm going to need to water this for it to hold in place. But you get the idea. That is my Moon Glow or Moon Shine cactus. And I've heard it referred to both ways. I forgot what the tag said. I think the tag originally said Moon Glow, and then I heard it on another video called Moon Shine, so I guess it could be called either one. I don't know. I don't know for sure. Okay. I'm very, very happy with the way this turned out. It looks very, very pretty, I think. I hope you all agree with me. It's got a wonderful shape to it. Alright, 1 down and 100 to go. Okay, that's that one. So, I'm going to continue to repot these, but I'm not going to do it on camera because it's going to take a long time. And all I want to do is show you the finished product. If I can talk. And as I said earlier, I want to try and get that table cleaned up and that wall cleaned up. So I think we're going to just end the video here, and then I'll be back to show you the finished project and get all these planted up and repotted, okay? And oh, I wanted to also mention, because it's been a while since I get these at the Dollar Tree, and they're really sturdy and they work great, and they come in three for $1. You get 3 different sizes. So I don't know if you have a Dollar Tree by you, but if you do, that's where I got those. I've had a few people ask me about that, so I wanted to make sure I mentioned it. Okay, I think we're good on this now. I'm gonna go ahead and start repotting the rest of these. It shouldn't take too long, and hopefully I'll be able to get this done this evening yet, and bring you the finished result tomorrow once I get it all back on my table and the way I want it to look. Thank you all again for coming, and if there's something that you want to see more of, or if you have any thoughts on what I have done, I know periodically people will comment to me and ask me questions about things, and so please feel free to do that, and I'll do my best to get that answer if I don't already know it or have it. But other than that, I hope you all have a good evening, what's left of it, and I'll be back soon. Alrighty, thank you very much for coming. Bye now.